Hey, so I have something pretty chilled, pretty awesome that I want to share with you today. Now, as you know, on this channel I create a ton of videos really about how to up-level your life and up-level your income, so that you're able to live the freedom, that life that you absolutely love. On this channel I give you all the steps, the goods. I don't hold anything back. But as we are halfway through the year, I want to create a different type of content today, and I'm really excited about this content because it is about the heart. I'm all about the heart because I truly believe that if your heart isn't in alignment with your goals, that all of these goal setting and all of these strategies that I teach you, they will never work. So today I want to walk you through, or talk you through rather, exactly how to make 2021 the best year, how to change your life in 2021. If you have found that this year hasn't hit you the right way, or you haven't achieved some of the goals that you set for yourself, don't beat yourself up. In this video I'm going to really help you to show you exactly how to move forward and what are the next steps that you ought to take, and how to be in true alignment so that the rest of the year becomes truly magical for you. So if you're ready to dive in, let's do it. If it's your first time joining me on my channel, I'm Pamela Bassa, the founder of The Lucrative Lady, and I'm incredibly excited. I really help women to up-level their income, up-level their impact, and really to live the life that they have, that they only journaled about, that they never thought was possible. I teach you the strategies for how to do that on this channel. I publish 3 times a week. So if you like what you see, do me a solid and subscribe to this channel so that it can continue to grow. So let's dive in. Before we dive in, a bit of a disclaimer. This is a tough video for me to make because as much as my business has grown crazy heights this year, and at the end of last year we're doing 6 figures per month. As much as it has grown to that crazy level, a lot has happened in my personal life I'm probably not ready to unleash on you guys just yet. One day I'll probably talk about it, but a lot has happened, and and I find myself constantly having to make a decision to really go forward, to move forward in spite of some of the pain that I have experienced in my private life. And so you might be that person. A lot of curveballs might have been thrown at you, so I want to share with you some of the strategies that will really help you to move forward. So step number 1 in changing your life, or rather in having 2021 be the year that your life completely changes, is by realizing and accepting that life will throw you curveballs. Right? So life will throw you some curveballs. You've got to accept it. You just got to know it's not personal. It happens to everybody. It just happens to us all at different times and in different ways. And sometimes you don't even know what your neighbor is going through. You don't even know what your friend is going through, or another family member. Right? We look at other people's lives and we tend to think that it's all perfect and it's all normal. But the truth is that most of the time it actually isn't. Why? Because we all have our own idea of what perfection looks like, and nobody is ever really at perfection. Even people who are really wealthy, who appear to have everything that they want, they still don't have the perfect life in their own eyes. In our eyes they might do, or rather in your eyes, right? But in their own eyes they don't. So life will throw you some curveballs. I'll give you an example. When I first came out of uni, I actually went to drama school. So when I first came out of drama school, I had, I started acting. I had lead roles. I had some of the, some really good roles and some really great things to look forward to in my acting career. It literally hit the word bang on the door. I came out of drama school, came out with an agent, jumped into my very first role playing the lead character in a theatre production, had jobs at the National Theatre, was invited to go on tour on Broadway. I had all of these things going for me, and that was the trajectory of my life, or so I thought. Now you might be thinking, Pam, how did you then transition to being in business and to doing what you are doing right now? Well, it was because in the middle of that, life did throw me a curveball, one that I never saw coming. At that time, I was pregnant, and unfortunately I had a stillbirth. So that means that I lost my baby at birth, my very first child. And yes, I don't know how to explain this. Life hit me in so many ways. At that time, I spiraled into very deep depression, and for years actually I have kind of dipped in and out, just because of that trauma and that pain. And I find that as the older I get, the more I accept that life will throw you some things that you never expected, the more I not embrace it. I'm not asking you to embrace it because I don't want to embrace pain, but really the more that I accept that pain is a part of this world, and that I make a decision to move forward with my life and to create new goals, right? So look where I am right now. I never thought I would be doing business. I didn't even have a desire to be in business, right? But when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. You do something with it. The one thing you do not want to do is to stay still or to stay stuck. You move forward. And sometimes your new normal might not look like what you are used to, right? Sometimes it might look like a very different life to which you never even imagined. But you've just got to move forward, because I promise you that if you do, something amazing would be waiting for you on the other end, just like it has happened for me now. So life will throw you some curveballs. Just go with the flow and create a whole new normal. Life is amazing. It is truly beautiful. So just go with the flow. The second thing you want to do in order to really change your life this year is to make a list of the things that you want to change, right? Do you know that a lot of people don't actually audit their happiness? That's what I call it. I call it auditing your happiness. And that means looking at your surroundings, looking at your life, looking at everything that you have, and just identifying what are the key areas that you want to change. If you could wave a magic wand, what would you change that's within your power, right? So, don't write things on the list like you want to change the color of your skin, or you want to change your height, or you want to change, something that is almost impossible. It's not impossible, but it's just too far-fetched, right? But look at the things. Are you unhappy with your home? Are you unhappy with your bedroom? Are you unhappy with the car that you drive? Are you unhappy with the clothes that you wear? Are you unhappy with the behavior of your children? Are you unhappy with your job? Are you unhappy with your business? These are key areas that you can do something about, right? So in order to make this the best year for you, you've got to make that list, because it is from that list that you get to then create a strategy for each thing. Because if you cannot identify what needs changing, you won't be able to take the steps to cause that change to happen. And this is where people go around in circles and go around in depression and in unhappiness. And truly what they haven't done is they haven't done step 2, which is audited their happiness, right? So right now, just pick up a notepad and a pen and write down a list. What are some of the key things that you would like to see change in your life that you know that you have the power to change? So whether you have the power to change it, or you know that somebody has the power to change it. Yes, sometimes we may need to employ somebody to help us, right? You may need to invest in areas to support you with that change, but it doesn't matter. Somebody has the ability to change this thing. So begin by writing down that list. Number 3 is to create a vision for what that best life looks like, right? That life that you want to create, what does that life even look like? You've got to create a vision, right? So it's one thing to create a list of the things you'd like to change, but you now need to create a vision, not just a list, but a vision of the life that you want. I'll give you a quick example. When my husband and I first got married, we were renting a house. It was a pretty big house. We couldn't even afford the rent of it, so we knew we needed to move, but we didn't want to move from rent to rent to rent to rent to rent. We wanted to buy our own home, but we couldn't afford the house, right? But we created a vision. I wrote down on a piece of paper, and I actually framed it, everything that I wanted this house to have. How many bedrooms, the type of garden that I wanted it to have, where I wanted it to be. So I wrote down that vision. My husband and I got together, we prayed about it together, and we then started to go online and to look for this house. What does this vision look like? One of my favorite books in the world, and you might know what that book is, it says, write the vision and make it plain so that he who sees it can run with it. What does that mean? It means that you've got to have that vision of what you want, write it down, create a picture of that thing, make it really plain so that when you see it or whoever sees it, they can catch on to that vision and they can run with it. So that's exactly what we did. We wrote down a picture of that vision, we found the property, and then every single week or every Sunday after church, we'll drive down to the road of that property, and we would just park there and just stare at the road. We'd stare at the other houses on the property, we'd stare at the trees. We loved this road. It was tranquil. It was the perfect place to raise children. And so we did that every single week, in between being turned down for a mortgage, in between being refused planning, because at first we thought if we buy this house, we would get some planning. We got turned down for everything over and over and over again. But because we had that vision, we knew this is the property that we wanted to have. We couldn't afford it, but we knew this was the vision. It helped us to act in a certain way. We started to act like people who owned that house, people who did have a mortgage. And then guess what happened? We eventually bought the house. Fast forward, when we bought the property, we did this again. We wrote down the vision again, and we said we didn't want to be in debt. We didn't want to owe the bank for this mortgage, because we had a very high mortgage because we couldn't afford the house in the first place. So the bank was taking a risk. So the repayments were truly, truly high. And so my husband and I wrote down a vision. We had an agreement between us, and we said we would become mortgage free within 10 years. Every single year we talked about this. In fact, sometimes we talked about this every single month. Sometimes every single day I'd walk around my house and I would go, yes, thank you, Lord, for my mortgage-free house. Thank you that I no longer have to pay mortgage. I don't have to pay anybody for this house. Thank you for my amazing bedroom, for my amazing bathroom, for my amazing this. And I would just call things that be not as though they are. I would walk around like I truly owned the house, because did you know that unless you are mortgage-free, you don't actually own the house? No, you are in debt to the bank. The bank owns the house. Sorry, the bank owns the house. So until you own the house, you don't actually own the house. So I would walk around and really look after the house and treat it like I owned it. And, lo and behold, 8 years after, as of last year, we became mortgage free. Not only did we get the house, but we paid it off in a record time in our early 30s. Now, if we didn't have that vision, we wouldn't have done it. Right? If we didn't have that vision, I wouldn't have put in the steps, that helped us to truly become debt-free and mortgage-free at a very, very young age. So you got to write that vision, build that vision, write that vision, soak in that vision, and become that vision. And I promise you that when you do that and you do it over and over again and never let go of that vision, it becomes a reality. So number 4 is really to take steps towards that dream life, just like I shared with you. You've got to take steps towards it. You've got to do what is required to create, to manifest that dream life. So if you want a brand new car, take the car that you have right now and start keeping it clean. Start treating it like the car that you want. If you want a Porsche, if you want a Bentley, whatever type of car that you want, treat it like you would if you invested 100K in your car, even if your current car is a banger, right? Or perhaps you don't even have a car. Perhaps you have a bicycle. Perhaps you have no wheels and you are just walking. As you are walking, envision yourself driving, or rather sitting behind the wheel of that beautiful car. What does it feel like? What does the leather, or rather the interior, look like? What does it feel like? What are some of the features inside this car? You've got to breathe it. You've got to see it. You've got to live it. You've got to truly experience it, right? That's one of the things that I did in our current home. Even though we became mortgage free, we knew that we truly needed to enlarge our territory, so to speak. We wanted to move to a bigger house, but we didn't really have the funds to move to the type of big house that I really, really wanted. That's in my vision. Not yet. Next year, we'll be able to do that. And so what we did this year is we decided to extend our home. We decided to bring some of that vision and to bring it into the current home that we have right now. And this was our way of manifesting, a part of the dream for today. So whatever it is that you dream of, you've got to take steps into making it happen. You've got to manifest this thing, because if you can see it in here and you can see it through your eyes, you can achieve it. But if you cannot even fathom what that feels like in your own mind, I can promise you that nothing will make that thing come true for you, because you didn't actually fathom it. You didn't create it, right? Think about it. Everything in this world was first created in somebody's mind. Every high-rise building that you see, every railway that you see, every train that you see, the mobile phone in my hand, everything, the chair that you are sitting on right now, the ground that you are walking on right now, the door that you opened to access your fridge, everything was first conceived in somebody's mind, right? So your mind is just as powerful. All you've got to do is figure out what it is that you want to create and focus on manifesting that thing and taking the steps to make that a reality. Number 5 is to work on your mindset daily. There's one of the things that I have noticed about truly trying to build the life that you want, and it is that everything is going to come against you. That's right. The moment you want to up level yourself in your career, you're going to start having a problem with your current job. The moment you want to up level your income in your business, you're going to find that the sales are not coming through, or something is going to happen. Something is going to happen to really rub you up the wrong way, to make you feel like whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, like it's not going to happen. And so it is for that reason that you must work on your mindset every single day, right? The only war that you have, it's not World War III, it's not World War One or two, those are done. Certainly not World War III. It's the war in your mind, right? It's the war between your two ears. It's what's going on here. That voice that tells you that you cannot achieve what it is that you want to achieve. It's war. You've got to go to war. You've got to go to war every single day on your mind, because the mind essentially filters, your brain filters what it is that you tell it to filter. So if you, in your mind or with your words, if you are speaking words of defeat, if you're currently saying, I'll never be a success, my business will never take off, or I'll never get into the career of my dreams, if that is the trajectory that you want for your life, or I'll never have children, if you currently are constantly speaking those words, I promise you that your brain is going to go, oh, hold on a minute, did you say you'd never have children? Okay, that's fine. Guess what? You're never going to have children, right? If you're constantly saying, I'll never make any money, or this business will never take off, this offer will never fly, your brain goes, oh, this offer will never fly. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to do everything to prove you right, because that is the job of your brain. Its job is to prove you right. Everything that you feed into it, it's going to regurgitate for you times a million. So doesn't it make sense that you are careful what you feed your mind, that you go to town and work in your mind every single day, so that you're feeding it good stuff. You're feeding it the things that you want it to regurgitate back to you, so that those things, those good seeds, become your reality. Doesn't that make sense? Well, that's not something that you do once a week or once a month. No, that's something you do every day. Every single day. Go to work on your mind. Read books. Speak to the right people. Surround yourself with the right people, right? Go to town on your mind. Speak positivity to yourself. I am my own biggest cheerleader. I don't wait for anybody to give me a pat on the back, right? I am completely in love with Pam, right? I'm in love with myself, and you've got to fall in love with yourself, fall in love with your future, and go to town on your mind every single day, because it is through your mind that you begin to manifest that dream life, that best life that you hope to have by the end of this year. It is your mind that will manifest that for you. Number 6, take responsibility for your struggles. What does that mean? A lot of people love to blame other people for where they are right now. But the truth of the matter is that where you are right now, right, your success or lack of is as a result of your own actions. It is your responsibility, right? If you are depressed right now, it is because of your own actions. If you are happy right now, it is because of your own actions. Now, before you comment below and go, Pam, but there are people who are clinically depressed. I'm not talking about that, and I'm not even going to touch on that, because that everybody has their own business and their own issues and their own struggles. But trust me, I understand what depression is like. I completely understand it. I have been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, returned it back, sent it right back to sender. I don't want to keep that, right? But one of the things that truly has helped me on my journey is taking responsibility for my own struggles. What does that mean? It means that if I struggle with, if I feel down, which I do, sometimes I'm a human being, right? If I struggle with depression, I've taken responsibility. I know what my triggers are. So I have sat down and I have thought to myself, Pam, what are the triggers? What are the things that causes you to be down, to be depressed, or to be low, in your attitude, in your behavior, in your mental state, right? What are those triggers? I have sat down and tried my best to discover what those triggers are, and then I have put things in place to avoid them. So for example, one of the things that I do for myself to safeguard myself is I have a rule of I call a friend every single day. That's right. Every single day, I pick up my phone and I phone a friend, right? These are people who I trust. These are people who understand my past. These are people who understand some of the things that I have been through. These are people who support me. Now, I don't call them and talk about what I'm struggling with. No, I call them just to say hello. And the reason this works well is because every single one of us, we live in our bubble, right? You live in your bubble. I live in my bubble. And in your bubble, that is your comfort zone. But just because it is your comfort zone doesn't mean that it's good for you. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So in your bubble, everything in your mind is right. In your bubble, you cannot see depression for what it is. In your bubble, you cannot see negativity for what it is. In your bubble, everything is correct, right? So that means that if you're feeling down, oh, it's good to feel down. It's okay to feel down. It's justified, right? If you create a launch and it doesn't work, it's justified because in your bubble, everything is right. Now, the only way to break out of your bubble is to break out and get into somebody else's bubble, right? To get into somebody else's world and attach yourself with what's going on in their world, because otherwise you're in your head space and you remain in your bubble, in your own world, and you're spiraling, you're going deeper and deeper into a bad spiral, and you won't even realize why, because you are in your bubble. Right? Do you see that? So the way that I break out of my bubble is every single day I phone a friend. And so every time I phone a friend, I get into their world, I get into their bubble, finding out what is going on with your day, what's happening. And we laugh, we joke, we talk about nonsense, right? It's okay outside of your bubble. But the main thing is that you get outside of your bubble and you get out of your own head. That's one of the things that I do. Another thing that I do that truly helps me is going for a walk every single day. I'm really blessed that my studio where I'm recording right now, it's only a few minutes from home, so I can actually walk here. So that really helps me to just take in the fresh air, listen to some music or something that motivates me, or something that again takes me out of my own head and out of my own bubble, and I go into a whole different world, and that helps me. But the bottom line is, you've got to take responsibility for your struggles. You've got to understand what are your struggles, and you've got to create some plan, put some sort of plan in place to truly help you to overcome them every single day. So the next point is to stop stressing about the things that you cannot control. Did you know that the majority of the things that we worry about are actually things that are out of your control? Did you know that? Right? So if you want to have this year be your best year, you've got to stop stressing about the things that you cannot control. Now, granted, it's hard. Even I struggle with this one, but I always remind myself, Pam, is it in your control? No, then you've got to find a way to move on. I'll give you an example. Earlier, I mentioned that we decided to extend our home, and as at the time of this recording, we are actually in the middle of our extension. And when we first moved into our home, one of the things we did invest in was really good flooring, really good solid wood flooring for our home. What we didn't realize is that the people who laid it the wrong way, so it's actually facing the wrong way. We didn't know this. So now that we built the extension, our new builders, said to us, your wood is facing the wrong way. It needs to face long ways as opposed to going across. And so we said, yeah, brilliant. It's real wood. Take it up, turn it the right way, lay it back, and then we would just buy more wood to make up the difference for the new part of the house, the extension. This was great. My husband and I worked out how much this is, and we made a plan to purchase this. Then one day our builders took up the wood, and then they came to us and said, no, actually, you can't reuse this beautiful wooden flooring that you spent an arm and a leg on. And we said, why? And they said, because the people who laid the wood the first time actually glued it down, which meant that when they pull it up, it's actually destroyed. Oh my God. Oh my God, I was so annoyed. I was so frustrated because if you know anything about building a house or doing an extension, whatever your builders tell you it's going to cost, just double that. So this was just another expense that we did not budget, and we don't just have money just sitting there, just going, yes, take this away and, buy us new floor. We didn't have that just sitting there. Now, obviously we had the money, but it wasn't budgeted for this. So I was really, really annoyed for ages, and I would look outside my window, look at the skip, and see all the wood just sitting there, good solid wood, but it's useless because it was glued down, and so we couldn't use it. And I had to forget it. My husband and I, we talked about it, and we were like, do we go for a cheaper wood? Do we go for laminate? I said, no way, we don't do that. Right? And so we decided we're going to invest again, but this time it cost us like 4 times as much because prices have gone up. We needed wood for a much larger space of the house now because of the extension. But anyway, it was something that was out of our control. So talking about it, worrying about it and stressing about it is not going to bring it back. So we just had to let go and let God and just pay for the new wood and just relay the wood the right way this time without the glue. So there are going to be things that are out of your control, my darling. You've got to be willing to let go. Just let go and just move forward. The next point I want to talk about is called protect your energy. What does that mean? It means that you've got to learn to surround yourself with people who have the right type of energy that you want to emulate, right? So people who are on a higher vibration than yourself, people who are more successful than yourself. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with or talk to the most. Did you know that? I'm sure you did. Well, if you know that, you've got to do what I do and what I teach my clients to do, and that is to audit your circle, right? Look around on your circle. Who are you hanging around with the most? Where are they going with their lives? What type of energy do they carry? If they're the type of people that gossip a lot, or that talk about other people a lot, or that complain a lot, or that seem to be going around in circle, I promise you that if you continue to hang around with them, you're going to join them, right? You're going to chase each other in a circle. You don't want to do that. You want to go in a straight line, or rather you want to go in a trajectory that goes up, right? Going higher and higher and higher in your life. So that means that you've got to really protect your energy. This is the one occasion that you have the permission to be selfish. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to cut off your friends. It just means that you have to limit the amount of time that you spend with people with the wrong type of energy. And last but not least, it is to treat yourself like a valuable investment. I'm going to say this again because it is so good. It is that good. Treat yourself like the valuable investment that you are. Did you know that you are a masterpiece? That's right. When you were created, it was done and all. Right? There is no copy of you. Somebody out there cares about you a great deal. So why is it that you don't care about you? You've got to treat yourself as a valuable investment. There are people who care about other people more than they do about themselves. I used to be that person. I didn't used to love myself. I didn't used to, I had a lot of hang-ups, to be quite honest with you. Now, I am my own biggest fan. I treat myself like a valuable investment because I understand that I am the hub of my life. That means that if Pam is okay, if I am, living my higher self and walking in my purpose, then my children get to benefit, my marriage gets to benefit, my friendships get to benefit, my relationship get to benefit, my clients get to benefit. But it all begins with me. Right? It all begins with being my higher self and treating myself like that valuable investment to which I am. That's right. So you've got to love on yourself, because if you can't love yourself, how will you be able to love other people? You see what I'm trying to say? So you've got to really just take a moment and, you know how a lot of people do a gratitude journal for things that they are grateful for? Do a love journal, right? What are the things that you love about you? Do that every single day until you are so madly in love with yourself that people think you are on your own high horse. I couldn't care less what people think, because I know that they don't know where I'm coming from. They don't know the Pam from way back when that, I didn't think I was worth anything. Right now, I am my own biggest fan, and I'm okay with tooting my own horn. It's not for other people's ears, it's for my own ears, right? It's for me. I love myself and I'm good with that. I am happy to exclaim that. If you hear it, good. If you don't hear it, fine. If it bothers you, that's your business. That's for you to work out with yourself, because why is it that me loving me does bother you? Why? Right? You see what I'm trying to say? So it's really not about being vain. It's not about vanity. It's not about having an ego. It's just about treating yourself like the valuable investment that you are, because you are the hub, right? You are the seed. It is from you that everything is birthed. Your mindset is birthed. When you treat yourself well, you develop a healthier mindset. You have a more successful business, a better career. You have a better relationship with your loved ones. All of these things come because of your heart. And that's truly what I'm gearing off to. It is about looking after your heart. Now, how do you treat yourself well? Well, speak positive words over yourself. That's right. Talk to yourself. Remind yourself of who you are. Look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself of how beautiful you are. Not by the world standards, but by your own standards, by God's standards, right? Remind yourself of how beautiful you are. treat yourself financially, right? We take out X amount of money to pay for taxes every single month without, unfailing, without even blinking an eye, because we know that we have to. When was the last time you bought something for yourself? Something expensive, something unusual, right? When was the last time you just did something because you wanted it, not because you needed it, not for anybody else, but just for you? Do you see what I'm trying to say? That's what I mean by treating yourself like the valuable investment that you are, because when you do, your joy multiplies. When your joy multiplies, it is infectious. It permeates through all the other areas of your life, your relationships, your business, and all of those amazing things. So that was me on my high horse. I hope you got value from this. That is truly, what I want for you. I want you to see my heart, and I hope that you truly get value and that you use what I've shared with you. So comment below and let me know which of these points stood out to you the most. Which of them are you going to implement? This is a matter of the heart. This is a case for you to love yourself and to have this year be your best year. Now, which of these points are you going to take forward and actually begin to implement? I'm really excited to hear. So comment below and let me know. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a solid by hitting that subscribe button. I publish 3 times a week on this channel, and give this video a like as well, so that it boosts the algorithm and other people get to see this. Now, before I go, I want you to check out this video where I walk you through how I set goals for my life and for my business. So make sure you check out this video before we go, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Love you all. Take care. Bye bye.